I mean, that's exactly what I want, but it is totally disturbing. And welcome back to the Create Mod here on Music Free Gaming. It is great to have you here, and I'm sitting here in my storage room in front of these chests of wood that I get all automatically, and there are a couple of trees that I am missing. I am missing the nether trees, and they're going to go over here. That's going to be the goal for today. Will I get it all done? Who knows, but let's go ahead and get started. So I'm over here at the tree factory, and I've put these two stations in place for just this purpose. I'm going to feed Crimson probably into this one, Warped probably into that one, and then I have some other plans for things that are going to go here. So before I start building these, I need to clear out some space. So let's start clearing in that direction, and then we'll see what other fun we can get into. So here's the thing. These farms, these factories, these dealy bobs are going to go here. But unlike regular overworld trees, which drop saplings that you can then take and replant, the nether trees don't. So what I'm going to have to do is set up a couple of farms to generate the different types of mushrooms. And those I want to have back here behind everything. So that I think is going to be the first step. Though I think maybe what I'll do is build one of these factories out first so I know how much room I'm dealing with, and then I can see what I need to lay out here. Oh, I forgot the bone meal. I'll remember things one of these days. It'll be a pretty epic day, though, because the day I remember things, I think there's going to be like choirs singing from heaven or something like that too. It's actually going to be pretty epic. I'm looking forward to that day. So the plan here is I'll take some dispensers underneath the nylium here like this, fill those things with bone meal, and they'll just be shooting up here. And if any of these get turned to netherrack, it will turn it back into nylium thanks to this stuff here. These dispensers will spit out bone meal, and if there's a mushroom sitting there like that, the bone meal to it should make it grow. At least that's the master plan. And then the other part of this plan is that these guys, these deployers, can reach through the dispenser to plant the mushroom. Okay, so if we put a mushroom inside that, now if we hit this, there, see, it plants the mushroom. So that's perfect. Now, what we saw here is that I'm going to have to feed these mushrooms in somehow. Yeah, I'm actually kind of thinking hoppers, or I suppose I could put shoots on top of this too. I don't know. I've got to feed bone meal into these, and I have to feed mushrooms into these, and I have to feed bone meal into these. So there's a lot of mechanics that have to happen, a lot of item moving that needs to get sorted out. Because this is only going to slide back and forth and drop off doodads. All of the doodad dropping. Doodad dropping sounds like maybe something to be avoided. Maybe something like that you might want to clean up out of your backyard. Yeah, not super excited about doodad droppings now that I think about it. The problem I have, right, is I can get bone meal into these guys. That's easy, right? Just drop some shoots on. I can run a mechanical belt over it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. These guys, I can't. Now, I could run a belt next to, down here, put funnels on these guys, right? And that would work. That's definitely a thing. But how do I don't want all of these to suck. And I can actually set it up so they only suck up one at a time, I suppose. So I could do that. The other option is I could set up hoppers like this. So it'll feed down through here and all the way down. But that means I'm going to be filling this up, which is the least exciting dispenser at the expense of these guys, which are the smart ones or the important ones. So I think that plan is not going to work. It turns out, unlike these guys, this isn't going to fill itself. So I think the way I want to do this one, in all honesty, I think I want to take the hoppers here too. And I still need to figure that one out. But I'm not stalling, you're stalling. This will come in like that. Wonderful. And over here like this. Okay, kind of like that, but not really at all like that. Let's be honest. That's not how I wanted that to go at all. Yeah, I'm totally thinking this is going to work. So I should actually dig this out here. But the idea is that in case chain drive's connected and if everything's spinning in the same direction, all of those belts are all going the same way and will feed everything the same way. It'll be great. And because you can put this 90-degree turn in, I've got it feeding right down here, so it'll feed all of these deployers. So that is perfect. I love it. Okay. So now need to get some power over here, and I'll need to get some power set up for the pusher dealy bob over there. Oh, come on. What is the thing that goes and does the thing? And it's a thing, and it's around and does things. I know where I have one of these, I think, that I can get to and actually look at it. Sequenced gear shift. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. You know, it's awesome when you actually remember the names of things. I should try that more often. Sadly, like all the things I can't remember, that is one of them. Well, that's just disturbing. I mean, that's exactly what I want, but it is totally disturbing. Okay, so I've got power here, potentially, right? I've got this sequence gear shift, and you give it power, and it goes forward, and it goes back. And it'll just take this whole thing with it, and that'll be wonderful. The problem I've got is that I don't want it to pull these back before it's had a chance to actually cut the logs. So what I might have to do is send it forward and put in a delay of a couple of seconds, right, before it does that. So, you know, we'll, I guess, see how that goes. I'm glad I built the slime farm. I hope I'm not going to need more slime than that, because my slime farm is non-functional. Actually, I tore it down. It doesn't exist anymore. It's okay. Totally, absolutely fine. All of it. It's fine. I should have enough stacks of slime to last me for a little while, at least. I really do want to get my slime farm working again, but I have other plans for how that's all going to happen. Smooth. Best flying ever. You would think that I was like a professional or something with that flying skill. Okay, what I want to do here real quick is I want to test the feed system. So the idea is I'll drop in the bone meal. It's going to feed bone meal out all along here, but it should also drop it down through the chute 7 blocks at a time, or 7 bone meal at a time, and get sucked into those dispensers. So if I just drop all of that in, what's happening down here? Yep, it's getting fed in, and it's getting sucked up into this. All of these are coming in. Yeah, and then it didn't make it down here. Huh, I wonder if I need to make that faster or just not worry about it. It's also a possibility. All right, well, time for a little testing. All right, I've got it sorted out. So it seems that these funnels are pulling in 2 items at a time. So if I set this to 14, then it looks like it's dropping and everything is spreading out just peachy. Up top, it's a different story because these chutes are sucking in everything before it makes it all the way over. So even if I load this stuff up with crazy amounts of bone meal, this is going to load up first. Now, what I could do is I could basically do the same game and try this with funnels, and let's just see what happens. All right, a little more testing. The funnels down here didn't work at all, so I have to go back to chutes, which means I'm going to be filling this guy up first before I fill up the rest of this, which is, I mean, it's okay. I did have this set so it will guarantee to go out at more than what this can suck up at once, rather than just being an asterisk. And so that would dribble out potentially 1 or 2 at a time. This way I will always get a whole bunch, which is a good thing. But darn it, not the bones. All right, well, now I have to go get bones out of all of my dispensers. But at least I know the system is going to do what I need it to do eventually. I think I finally have this machine figured out. Now, it is ridiculous. I've got a couple of layers here of iron blocks above and below, and then string laid under these blocks. Now, why? Because nether trees are stupid. Right, let me just throw a couple of these mushrooms, fungus things down. So what happens is sometimes when these trees grow, right, they get all of the leafy bits, right, all of the warped blocks, or in the case of crimson, nether warped blocks, and they will grow down and block the drills. Drills will go through it, saws will not. So the whole machine just stops if I get leaves that get between the drill and the tree. And while the drills will break the warped blocks, and they'll even break the wood, they won't cut down the tree if, you know, they'll just cut down the one block of wood, which is not at all helpful. I want this thing to cut down the whole tree. So I think I've got this set up now so that with the string and the blocks, the machine won't get stopped. Now, the cool thing is when the machine is moving, it's sort of transparent. So while it stops, it blocks that it can't cut. String is fine. It just goes through the string and ends up down here. So let's go ahead and turn this machine on and see if it's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and connect up this redstone, turn the machine on, and yeah, it seems to be doing okay. Now, occasionally, yeah, you'll see some of these logs that get stuck up here because of various reasons. Just because of the way things grow. When you get another tree in there like that, eventually, see, those logs will get cleaned up. Now, what's unfortunate here is that this doesn't break the plants. I did some testing. It broke the plants for a while. Now it's not. I don't know what's going on. But when I start feeding this guy the what are these, warped fungus, it won't matter. The deployers will plant the fungus on the blocks and we'll get trees. So that's gonna be great. And I guess the next thing I need to do is actually get a fungus generator going. To keep things a little quieter, I have block sounds off, but I also have this lovely fungus generator. Yep, typical shaky floor. This is the cool thing about Create. Just because I have all of the Create stuff doesn't mean I have to use it. And I am using a old school redstone powered lovely shaky floor generator. What more can I say? It goes and it does its thing. Where I add Create stuff in is that's how I'm feeding bone meal into the machine. Hopefully I'll be able to automate that, but for the moment, well, I just have to manually drop bone meal into this chest. And then I have a radio link set up over here. There it is. Over here, that if my vault, if I have a chest down here, somewhere, over here, there it is. If this guy gets full of fungus, it will stop, which basically means lots of other things are happening. Now, I still have this problem where the tree grows and blocks the machine. And that's not great. There it goes. So I think what I need to do is get a little bit of string along the top here. I think that'll take care of that. So the tree will not grow back behind this while it's out. Now that the string is in place, I do want to show a couple of fun little features of this setup. So got a water streams flushing all of the generated goodness onto this belt. Okay, right, this goes for a while, flushes onto the belt. The green mushrooms, most of them get sucked through this vault and down through these chutes into the chest and fed out across the back end here. So it goes through all of these hoppers that feed all of the deployers, right? Cool. Everything else, including a few of the mushrooms that hop over this while it's still loading stuff, ends up coming through here, getting composted and filling this vault, and that's feeding bone meal into the rest of this system. So I figure that's a fairly reasonable way of dealing with bone meal for now. I could also maybe drop it from the moss-based bone meal generator I want to do, but for now, I think this is going to work out pretty well. Well, this is pretty impressive. Just the time it took to get everything sorted out and built and tested, it's basically about an hour. I'm almost completely full up on planks. Haven't started saving the logs of the strip yet, because that happens after the planks. But holy smoke, this is going to generate so much wood. It's going to be awesome. A ridiculous amount of time later, and I now have the Crimson factory going. You can see all of the red stuff bubbling up and down over there as things drop down, and as I get bone meal in places, there you can see the Crimson trees going. And I even managed to remember to hook up the actual log factory. So that is awesome. The one problem I have here is bone meal. As I mentioned earlier, I need to set up a bone meal factory. Now, what would be really cool is if I could take these nether wart and warped wart blocks and pump them through composters to make bone meal. And I'll look into that a little bit, because that would be a really easy source, but I really need lots of other bone meal. So that's going to be a project for another day. But until then, this is great. Honestly, I'm really thrilled. And as long as I can keep the trees from growing out and blocking the drills from coming back, I'm happy. And that is going to do it for me today. Thank you all for hanging out with me as I got this nether tree farm working. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for all the fun and excitement coming up. And until next time, be excellent to each other. This is Music Free Gaming signing off.